Hey Booktube, just me again. I have added a nice sparkly tiara that I got at Disney to this video. Can you guess why? That's probably because I'm going to do the Disney Princess book tag. I am a huge Disney fan. I saw this book tag on the literaryphoenix.com blog. I'll be linking it in the description so that you guys can see that one for yourself. This is where I took all of the questions from. It's quite an up-to-date one. It goes all the way to Moana. I'm not sure if any of the videos on Booktube go that far. I haven't watched many of them, so I'm not really sure what anyone else has done for these. But I'm gonna just jump right in, so bear with me. Snow White, the book that started it all. Favourite debut book from an author. I'm going to pick The Selection for this. I'm pretty sure it was her first novel. She hasn't done many of them. I believe she's done The Selection novel and then she did The Siren. And I don't think there's been many more. So I think this was her debut book. And if I'm wrong, please do let me know, because it's just, I'm going off what I personally know to be true. And if I am wrong, please do let me know and I'll maybe do an updated one where I pick another book, but I would pick The Selection by Kiera Cass. This is set in a future world where China has taken over America. It's not called America anymore. They've changed the name of the country. All of the foundations are different. It's kind of like Hunger Games crossed with The Bachelor. It's a really easy read. And I love every minute of it. I love all the drama, I love all the characters, and this book is, yeah, this is my favourite debut book from an author. Cinderella. Just like Cinderella, you either didn't expect much of this character, but they ended up being a total gem. For this, I'm going to pick Aphrodite from the House of Night series. She started out being this person that everybody hated and they just couldn't stand her. She was not a nice person at all, but over the time of the series progressing, she actually became someone that was really quite likable, and as long as you took her at face value, you knew that her intentions were really quite good. So I'm going to pick Aphrodite from the House of Night novel by P.C. Cast and Kristen Cast. Next up we have Aurora, Sleeping Beauty. For the Sleeping Beauty question, it is a book that makes you sleepy or just couldn't hold your attention. Now, this one makes me sad because I really wish that I could get it to hold my attention, and I'm going to try again. But I have picked Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard for this. I read Red Queen a few years ago and I absolutely adored it. It was amazing. It was a really good quick read. I really liked the different characters. I really liked the dynamics between the Silver Bloods and the Red Bloods, and it was a really cool concept. But when I picked this up this year, I found this one and the third book in the series in a shop, and it was like two of them for £5. So I was like, I read the first one, I loved the first one, I'm going to get the second and third one and I'm going to finish the series. And I got really excited about that. But then I picked it up, I read maybe 3 chapters and I just couldn't do it because there were many other things that I wanted to read before reading this or trying to finish this. But I do really want to read this and I am going to try again. I'm really disappointed that it didn't keep my interest as much as other books did, but that just could be fluctuation of tastes going on over the year. And yeah, I pick Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. Ariel. A book set by the sea or by the ocean, under the sea, under the ocean, whichever you want to call it. For this, I am picking Anna Banks's series of Poseidon. I read this a few years ago. It was something that I didn't expect to come across and I didn't expect to actually read, because when I was younger, I ended up not reading a lot of books about fairies or about mermaids or about any of that kind of stuff, because I was writing a novel myself based around fairies and about mermaids and things like that. So I didn't want to taint my writing and taint my ideas by reading lots of books around the subject. It definitely held me back from reading a lot of good stories, but I did read this one and I did really enjoy it and I want to read more. So if anybody has any more mermaid related books that they can recommend. I do have To Kill a Kingdom on my bookshelf, ready and waiting for me to read it, but any more than that, please let me know, because I'm always looking for them. But I would pick Of Poseidon and Of Triton, that entire series by Anna Banks, for this question. Belle, Beauty and Books. Pick a book that has your favourite bookworm or book lover. For this, I am picking Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series. If anyone picks anything else, I would be quite surprised, and I'd like to see those videos, so please send them to me, because I don't think I've ever read another book that has a bookworm more bookwormy than Hermione, and that would be something interesting to read and to like compare to. But I'm going to pick Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series. Jasmine, pick a book with an unlikely love story. Now, before pressing play on this, I have been thinking about this question, and it's a really difficult question to come up with an answer for. And I just think, I keep looking at my shelves and thinking I'm going to see something that just immediately shouts out to me, and most of the books that I have, I don't feel like there's love stories in them are unlikely, but I'm going to pick this one, and this is Kissed by an Angel by Elizabeth Chandler. Now, I was obsessed with this book. It's why it's one of the few books that came over with me from Ireland, where I'm from. And I guess it's unlikely in the sense that within this book, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't read this book. So if you do want to read this book, I would go and look at the synopsis. And I mean, even still, in the synopsis, it explains what happens. So I'm just going to continue. In this book, Ivy's boyfriend Tristan dies, and he kind of comes back to her in the form of becoming her guardian angel, and sort of tries to help coax her towards another love interest in Will. So I guess in that sense, that's kind of an unlikely love story where your dead ex-boyfriend is trying to push you towards a new one. It's a very odd dynamic going on there, and it's really difficult for him, obviously, to, you know, help her be happy without him. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Kissed by an Angel by Elizabeth Chandler for this book, and an unlikely love story. Mulan, pick the fiercest heroine that you know. Now, I've got a lot of those on my bookshelves, and it's really difficult to pick which one I would pick without repeating myself and picking books that I've picked before. So I'm going to try not to do that. And just as a joke, I could have picked up Reflection, which is the Disney twisted tale of Mulan, but I didn't do that just because I just didn't think that was necessary. So for this question, name the fiercest heroine you know. And I'm going to pick Lyra Belacqua from the Dark Materials. Lyra's just cool. She's a kid, and she's just a really badass kid. And I really do enjoy reading about her and following her story. I read them when I was younger. I picked up this really beautiful copy, and I want to reread through all of them again. But I am going to pick Lyra Belacqua for this question because she is just a really, really awesome kid. And she is definitely fierce. She stands up to ice bears and stands up to Miss Coulter, and yeah, she's just badass. So Lyra Belacqua from his Dark Materials. Next up we have Tiana, and this is a book with a diverse setting or diverse set of characters. And for this, I'm going to pick the Summoner series by Taran Matharu. And I'm picking this because there are humans, there are elves, there are orcs, there are dwarves, there are demons. There's just a massively diverse world of characters in this, and I'm going to choose this as my pick for Tiana. Next up we have Rapunzel, and this is the longest book you've ever read. I'm going to pick American Gods by Neil Gaiman for this one. It is definitely one of the longest books that I've ever read. I haven't quite gotten to a scale where I can read like Game of Thrones or anything really colossal like that. So yeah, American Gods by Neil Gaiman will probably be the longest book that I've ever read. I'm not entirely sure how many pages it was. I don't have my copy with me at the moment. I lent it out and I still haven't gotten it back yet. But yeah, definitely a really long read, and it took me ages to get through because it is just, the topics were just really difficult and everything was changing so quickly, and trying to get to grips with it was quite difficult. So in terms of pages and in terms of length that I read it, both the same. Definitely American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Elsa and Anna, a book you have read that is set in winter or in a cold setting. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't actually think I've read anything that's set in winter or in a cold setting. I haven't read Game of Thrones. I mean, it's the only one I can come up with that I can even think of that's going to be set in a cold setting. So if any of you have any recommendations for how I can fulfill that particular question, please let me know in the comments below and I will get right on reading them, because it's nothing I've ever really considered before, reading something that's in a cold or winter setting, and I just haven't really done it. Sorry if you can hear scratching, my cat has decided that she wants to play with the scratching post at this particular point. But yeah, if anyone has any other recommendations for a book that is set in a winter or cold setting, please let me know. And we have reached the final princess in the Disney Princess book tag, and that is Moana, a book where the character goes on a journey. And for this I'm going to pick Percy Jackson. He goes on a really long journey, it's like 5 books long, and he goes to so many different places and he develops as a character, so his emotional journey is quite strong too. And I think he's the perfect one to pick for this. And I'm going to pick Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. Okay, that's all for my Disney Princess book tag. I hope you enjoyed the books that I recommended for this book tag, and I'd love to see some other videos coming off the back of this one. I don't know if it's an updated version that no one on BookTube has actually done yet. I'm going to have a look and see. But yeah, that's my Disney Princess book tag, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in my next video.